Good morning, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. Israel has issued 20 evacuation orders in Beirut's southern suburbs. That is not a typo. 20 evacuation orders. While reports say a ceasefire is close. So, what's happening now? Oh, an airstrike just happened. Look at the top of your screen. Look at the top of your screen. Airstrike just happened. Airstrike just happened. Hold on, right there. 2 airstrikes, more. Airstrikes happening now. Look at all these airstrikes. Whoa, wow, crazy. Look at this. Look at all these strikes. Hold on a second. Then we have them on both cameras. We had them on both cameras. Hold on, I'm trying to get everything organized here. We have airstrikes going on here. On both cameras. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. They might be all happening at the same time. Unbelievable. Look at this. Wow, we just got on before this happened. Sometimes they spread them out, but this is a lot all at one time. Look at this. Unbelievable. A huge number of airstrikes by Israel. Let me show you some different angles here. Look at this. Hang on. Unbelievable. So we just saw a bunch. Again, a ceasefire is reportedly close. Israel issued about 20 evacuation orders, and I don't think they hit 20 targets yet. I'm expecting some more explosions to happen, but certainly they just hit a number of targets there in the southern suburbs of Beirut. I'm not even showing the third camera yet. Look at the third camera. Wow. So we're still, I think we're still expecting more because they issued 20 evacuation orders. There was also a strike in central Beirut, which was apparently not even warned about a half an hour or hour ago. But again, there were 20 evacuation orders. That's a huge number. I don't know that I've seen that many in a single burst of evacuation orders. It looks like we just saw about 6 or 7 strikes, maybe. Fred Flintstone says they're getting their bang for their buck before the ceasefire. I mean, you might think that. You might think they're either striking while they can before the ceasefire or sending some sort of message before the ceasefire. There was reports that suggested that Hezbollah might fire a lot of rockets before the ceasefire, but we'll see if that happens, if there is a ceasefire. But we just saw a number of them, and we're expecting more. Thank you, DeShark, for the gift memberships, by the way. Marcus Tolia Cicero, our member. Ernie, for your support, thank you. Tracy Fichter, our member. Yeah, I don't want to start replaying stuff right now because there might be new things. I want to focus on the live. We can replay some stuff a little later, but I mean, there's more stuff expected to happen, so. Thanks so much to our moderators. Oh, by the way, thanks Kiaria, our member. Thanks, Kiaria. Our moderators. Thanks, Danny James. Danny is moderating right now. Thanks, Danny. Carms is moderating. Thank you. There is no try. There is no try thinks Israel has rejected the ceasefire. Well, that's not the reporting I'm hearing. The leftist press, like Times of Israel, Times of Israel is leftist press. All the leftist press reporting there's a ceasefire. How about like the press around the world reporting it? Literally, Times of Israel says expected truce on the front page right now. But you think it's leftist press? I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous comment. I mean, I do appreciate it. I shouldn't be picking on there is no try, but I mean, come on, really. It's like all the press. Hold on, what's happening here? Hold on. Got to fix this. Okay, that's fixed. Thank you, there is no try. Sorry. Anyways. There were 20 evacuation orders issued by Israel just in the last half hour or so. And they just conducted looked like about 6 or 7 strikes, with, I assume, more to come. There's a shot right there you can see. Times of Israel is claiming that the Times of Israel is notoriously left. I mean, come on. Hey, thanks to Christy M. Our member. Thank you, Times of Israel. But thank you, there is no try, but we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. Sorry, let me thank the rest of our moderators. Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on X. Over there on Twitch right now, we have Idaho Star, I Got That Fire, and Surly Dev are modding. Thanks to our Facebook mods, too. It's 3:23 p.m. It's just, I mean, some reports suggest there could be a ceasefire agreement by tonight. So, I mean, we could be a few hours before a ceasefire agreement, and Israel issuing 20 evacuation orders and already launching a bunch of strikes. They just launched, it looked like 6 or 7 of them. And we were on the air a few hours ago covering Israeli strikes, a number of Israeli strikes in the southern suburbs of Beirut, which is Hezbollah. It's a big Hezbollah stronghold. But this is a lot of strikes. Susan Priest-Buchner thinks they're adding pressure to Hezbollah. Thanks, Ronald Egnor, for moderating. Thank you, Ronald. All right, let me try to get you some updates here. A lot of horns. Oh, did the IDF release a statement? Parallel Universe, who I follow, said the IDF released a statement. Hang on a second, I'll get that for you. The IDF says they are currently conducting strikes on Hezbollah targets in the area of Beirut. That's what they just said 5 minutes ago. They said we are currently conducting strikes on Hezbollah terror targets in Beirut. In the area of Beirut. This would be the Beirut southern suburbs. Wow. Will we see rockets being fired from Lebanon into Israel? IDF spokesperson Avichai Adri says the IDF is extensively attacking Hezbollah targets in the Beirut area. I do not think they have attacked 20 targets yet. Looked like a lot of attacks, but not 20. I think you're going to see more. I mean, when the IDF, they usually don't even issue like 10 warnings at a time. Like 10 is a big number. But they issued 20 evacuation warnings. RJ is modding too. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. I accidentally... Beirut 3 was accidentally frozen. Thanks for letting me know in the chat there. Yeah. I accidentally froze Beirut 3 on you. Sorry about that. I've just unfrozen Beirut 3. The other ones are not frozen. No, 2 is not frozen. 2 is live. It's literally moving right now. 2. Roy Case, who's an Israeli reporter, reports that there are one reported dead and 4 injured in an Israeli attack, which Israel also launched a unwarned attack in the heart of Beirut about a half hour ago. That was a different attack. No, the hostages are not part of a ceasefire because Hamas holds the hostages, not Hezbollah. This would be a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah, not Israel and Hamas. This is Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, not Israel and Hamas in Gaza. I know it's a bit confusing. The hostages are held by Hamas in Gaza. Some gunfire we're hearing. We are hearing some gunfire. The Israeli Air Force says the Air Force is now attacking terrorist targets of Hezbollah in the Beirut area on a large scale. That's what the Israeli Air Force says. Thank you. There is no try for your support. There is no try. I am done having that discussion with you. But I appreciate it. There is no try. Thank you. Also, Kurt W9BBW. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being a member. Yusuf thinks there's way too much fighting for a coming ceasefire. Yeah, we streamed a couple hours ago. AP says Israeli jets struck a residential building in central Beirut. That was like in the last hour. And issued new evacuation orders for 20 buildings. And they've just hit a bunch of them about 10 minutes ago. Uh-oh. That's one of our cameras. Further live coverage is expected. What happened to that camera? Thank you, Red Eye Shell, for subscribing. On Twitch. The AP said in a signal of more strikes to come, Israeli military spokesperson, hearing some gunfire, Avichai Adri issued evacuation warnings for 20 buildings in the southern Beirut suburbs, as well as a warning for the southern town of Nakora, where the UN peacekeeping mission known as UNIFIL is headquartered. And again, they issued 20 evacuation orders. Looks like they did about 6 or 7 strikes or something, if not a little more than that, but I would expect there to be more strikes. Hey, thanks PZ Papa Zulu for the gift memberships. Thank you. N. Threonis, thanks for being a member. More gunfire. We'll show a replay in a little bit, but I don't want to miss any live stuff. Hope we get that camera 2 back. That's a good camera, camera 2. We are expecting more strikes. Reuters reports that a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah looks imminent, officials say. Reuters says that Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah looked set to reach a ceasefire deal today, said both Israeli and Lebanese officials, clearing the way to end a conflict that has killed thousands of people since it was ignited by the Gaza war 14 months ago. Will Hezbollah and Israel reach a ceasefire deal? That's not Hamas and Israel. We're talking about Hezbollah and Israel. Hamas are the ones who did the October 7th attack and took hostages. A senior Israeli official and Lebanese Foreign Minister Abdallah Abu Habib appeared optimistic that a deal could be reached, cooling a second front for Israel's military that is also battling the Palestinian militant group Hamas in Gaza, says Reuters. Israel's security cabinet is expected to convene later today to approve the text of the ceasefire deal at a meeting chaired by Prime Minister Netanyahu, a senior official said. Senior Israeli official. This would pave the way for a ceasefire declaration by U.S. President Biden and French President Macron. The Lebanese foreign minister expressed hope that a deal to end the deadliest spillover from the Gaza war could be sealed by tonight. The agreement, says Reuters, requires Israeli troops to withdraw from South Lebanon and Lebanon's army to deploy in the region, a Hezbollah stronghold, within 60 days, officials say. Hezbollah would end its armed presence along the border south of the Litani River. So Israel would pull out of southern Lebanon. Hezbollah would go north and leave southern Lebanon to the north. And the Lebanese army and UN forces and others would monitor southern Lebanon to make sure Hezbollah doesn't come back in there. The Lebanese foreign minister said the Lebanese army would have at least 5,000 troops deployed in southern Lebanon as Israeli troops withdraw, and the U.S. could play a role in rebuilding infrastructure destroyed by Israeli strikes. The Israeli defense minister said today that Israel demands effective UN enforcement of an eventual ceasefire with Lebanon and will show zero tolerance toward any infraction. An Israeli government spokesperson, David Mencer, told Reuters that the agreement with Lebanon will maintain Israel's freedom of operation there, to act in defense, to remove threats posed by Hezbollah, and enable displaced residents in northern Israel to return safely to their homes. Hearing some more gunfire now. What's happening now? The camera is zooming in. I don't know that that's a new strike. Is that a new strike? I don't know. Is that a new strike right there? The camera just zoomed way in. I do not know if that's new or not. Hey, thank you to Kurt W9BBW. Kurt, there's reporting that suggests that a ceasefire in Hezbollah with Hezbollah could happen in Israel could happen as soon as tonight. But we'll have to see what happens. No guarantee. Hey, thank you so much to Jeffrey Morley. I appreciate it, Jeffrey Morley. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your support. We are expecting more strikes. Braveheart says, if ceasefire, why is Israel still striking? Well, there's no ceasefire yet. There's no ceasefire yet. Oh, we got the other camera back. Good. You know, this happens. I mean, we've covered past conflicts with Israel and, like, say, Israel and Gaza, where fighting goes up right to the ceasefire. I mean, we've covered that kind of thing before. So, you know, I don't know if it's to hit targets before they can't anymore, or to send a message. I don't know, but I mean, I'm not seeing reporting that says, oh, well, because of these strikes, there's no ceasefire. That's not what I'm seeing. But we'll have to see what happens. Thank you, Unleashed Pokegamer, who says that agreement sounds like UN Resolution 1701 from 2006. Yeah, we read an article on the earlier stream that talked about that said it's very similar to that the basic idea of the agreement is to enforce the Security Council resolution from 1701 from 2006, which is the last time Hezbollah and Israel fought. Thank you, Unleashed Pokegamer. Right, not disarmament of armed groups, or not exactly, as Unleashed Pokegamer says, this ceasefire would not be about disarming Hezbollah, that we know of. But yes, maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit more. Thank you, Unleashed Pokegamer. Marnie says, I hope the Israeli people can go back to their homes on the border with Lebanon, but I am skeptical. Oh, they lost camera 2 again. I don't know. Is that a new strike there or not? Is that just a fire? I think that might just be like a fire burning or something from earlier on camera 1. Yeah, you can actually see it on camera 3 as well. I think that might be a fire from earlier. See it on both cameras right now? The black smoke. Thank you, Eliza Jane, who says, I really wish all this war would stop and peace could become a reality. Thanks, Eliza Jane. Well, maybe there will at least be a sort of ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. Al Jadid News Lebanon claims that a joint American-French statement will be issued shortly after 7 p.m. Lebanon time, 10 p.m. Lebanon time, announcing the reaching of a ceasefire agreement. Okay. Lebanese news outlet claims a joint American-French statement will be issued shortly after 10 p.m. Lebanon time, announcing the reaching of a ceasefire agreement. Current time in Lebanon is 3:45 p.m. So again, the Lebanese news outlet Al Jadid News is claiming that in a little over 6 hours, there will be a joint American-French statement announcing a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Lebanon and Israel. I don't know if this is true, but that's what they said. Jen Ector said, who would police a ceasefire? Lebanon army can't see that. It would be a combination of the Lebanese army troops and UN troops. And also Israel says that it would keep, supposedly is going to keep the right to attack Hezbollah if they violate the ceasefire. More gunfire. Camera's moving again. Camera is moving. Is that another fire there? If I can, I'll show you a replay of what we saw about a half hour ago, right when we came on the air. But I don't want to miss stuff that's live. Really quick, I'm going to show you a quick replay from earlier, okay? If I can get it on the screen here. Now, this is live right now. That's live. We're looking at a live shot now. Right when we came on the air, it started. Really, right when we came on the air. All right, here is a replay of what happened, while I'll keep an eye on what's going on live. Oh, hold on. You know, there's also... I have some video from... What is that? Oh, they got the... I have some video that I might be able to show you soon from Beirut, central Beirut, where there's been a strike there. Hold on, hang on. What am I looking at here? What am I looking at here? It's not really helpful at the moment. Let's take a second and look at the replay from before. All right, here is this was about a half hour ago or so. Look at this. Watch this. This is a replay. Look at the top camera there. These are when those strikes hit, right when we were coming on the air. So keep watching. Look at all this. This was about, again, I want to say about a half hour ago. Look at all of those strikes happening at the same time. Now, we saw something similar on our stream a couple hours ago, but this is what happened. This was just, you know, during this stream, just a short while ago. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. Looks like about 10 strikes. I mean, maybe more. Did they do all 20 then? Doesn't look like 20. Maybe it was 20, I don't know. Worldwide News Now thinks there were 13. That was after 20 evacuation warnings. Thank you, Rachel Rivera. Rachel, I don't believe they have reached the agreement yet. I don't think they've reached it, and they're just waiting to announce it. We haven't heard that they've reached it yet. That's my understanding. Thank you so much to Rachel Rivera. Also, Ehsan Saka Amini. Thanks, Ehsan. So this was just a little bit earlier. Just showing you a quick replay here of some of what we saw before. I think our viewer Ehsan is in the Maldives, which is pretty neat, if that's true. Corey Hill, our member, thank you. All right, so that's what we saw before. Let's get back to the live shot now. Let's get back to live. That's all live, and I would think we'll see some more airstrikes unless they launch 20 all at one time. It didn't look like 20 to me, but I might be wrong. Yes, Israel is still carrying out some operations in Gaza. I'm hearing a drone. There are also reports in Lebanese media of some other targets in different parts of Lebanon being targeted as well by Israel. And that is a fire burning, it looks like there. I have an interesting report here from Lazar Berman with Times of Israel. Uh, 4 p.m. is, this is 6 minutes from now. So, Lazar Berman with Times of Israel reports that Prime Minister Netanyahu has moved up his security cabinet meeting to discuss the ceasefire proposal to 4 p.m., which is 5 minutes from now. Ministers are expected to approve a ceasefire in the conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Prime Minister will later meet with Northern Israeli Council heads who oppose the truce. So again, Times of Israel's Lazar Berman is saying that Netanyahu will meet in 5 minutes, starting in 5 minutes with his security cabinet. I was just told, I just saw that there was a rocket alert of some sort. I will let you know where that is. According to so far, there are 3 rocket alerts, all in northern Israel near the Lebanon border, according to so far. See, so far, that's northern Israel, 3 rocket alerts. I'll let you know what I hear about it. Robert Dyer thinks ceasefire will never last. Guys, the Israeli Air Force said they launched. The Israeli Air Force said they did launch 20 strikes. The Israeli Air Force just came out and said 20 terrorist targets in 120 seconds. Oops, sorry. Israel says it attacked 20 Hezbollah targets in 2 minutes with 8 fighter jets in the southern suburbs of Beirut. So they said they attacked all 20 targets. They just came out with that. So Israel just announced, the Israeli Air Force said that they attacked 20 targets in 2 minutes with 8 fighter jets. They said this attack follows up on the IDF attacks carried out a few weeks ago against the economic setup of the terrorist organization Hezbollah. There is a fire going on, it looks like. So they did launch 20 strikes, I guess. Didn't look like it necessarily from far away, but they said it was 20 strikes. Boy, that was pretty quick too, because I mean, as soon as I heard about the 20 evacuation warnings, I set up the stream, and we just caught it. It happened like a couple minutes after we started this stream. So that was pretty fast. Sometimes it takes them hours to strike after evacuation warnings, but this was pretty quick. I'll show you another replay. Thank you, the FNAS hole. Manny Fabian with Times of Israel says the IDF says that 7 buildings attacked of the 20 were used for the management and storage of funds, and the other 13 included various other Hezbollah targets. Oh, Israel also posted a video of the strikes from above, which I'll post a link to in the chat. I already posted on my X account. I just posted a link to it. Actually, I'll show it right now. Look, this is the Israeli Air Force video here of that's some of the strikes there. 20 in 2 minutes. See all the strikes going on in this video? I just posted a link to it in the chat. A lot of strikes. All right. Reuters reports Israeli strikes pound central Beirut and suburbs. Israeli strikes pounded a densely parted part of the Lebanese capital and its southern suburbs on Tuesday, hours ahead of an anticipated announcement of a ceasefire ending hostilities between Israel and Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. A strike on central Beirut, which has not struck that much, hit the Noiri district with no evacuation warning and killed at least one person, Lebanon's health ministry said. Minutes later, at least 10 Israeli strikes, it turns out it was 20, hit Beirut's southern suburbs. They began approximately 30 minutes after the Israeli military issued evacuation orders for 20 locations in the area. That was the largest such warning yet. The 20 evacuation orders was the most they had done during this conflict at one time. One of our viewers said there will now be a lot of action. I don't know why people are claiming that the ceasefire is definitely at 10 p.m. local time. I mean, a Lebanese channel claimed there was going to be an announcement then, but I haven't seen much on that. We don't know that to be the case. I'm going to do a quick poll in a second. Quick poll. Will there be a ceasefire today? That includes tonight. Keep hearing all these reports. Let's see what you guys have to say. Over there on YouTube, %72% say no ceasefire today. And on Twitch, %79% say no ceasefire today. Wow, you guys are really skeptical, which I understand. Ann F says this is never ending. Pickett says they might be one, but that means nothing? AP says Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged fire almost daily since the day after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th of last year, setting off the war in Gaza. 2 months ago, Israel launched a widespread bombardment of Lebanon. More than 3,500 people in Lebanon have been killed, many of them civilians. Over 70 have been killed in Israel, over 40 of them civilians. And over 50 Israeli soldiers have been killed in the ground offensive. Something about the ceasefire from AP. Thank you for voting. Most of you think there will not be a ceasefire today. Oops, sorry. Hang on. Hang on, I messed something up. AP says the proposal under discussion to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah calls for an initial 2-month ceasefire during which Israel forces would withdraw from Lebanon and Hezbollah would end its armed presence along the southern border south of the Litani River. The withdrawals would be accompanied by an influx of thousands more Lebanese army troops who have been largely sidelined in the war to patrol the border area along with an existing UN peacekeeping force. An international committee would be set up to monitor implementation of the ceasefire agreement and of UN Security Council Resolution 1701, which was passed in 2006 to end a month-long war between Israel and Hezbollah, but was never fully implemented. Hezbollah never ended its presence in southern Lebanon, while Lebanon said Israel regularly violated its airspace and occupied small patches of its territory. It is not clear whether a new deal would be any more successfully implemented than the one in 2006, says AP. AP also says Israel wants the freedom to strike Hezbollah and other in this agreement. Two Western diplomats told AP that Israel is asking for more guarantees to ensure that Hezbollah's weapons are removed from the border area. Israeli officials concerned about the possibility of Hezbollah launching the kind of attack that Hamas carried out from Gaza into southern Israel have said that they would not agree to a ceasefire that doesn't explicitly grant Israel freedom to strike Lebanon if they believe Hezbollah is violating the ceasefire. Lebanese officials have said agreeing to that would violate Lebanon's sovereignty. Lebanon and Israel have also disagreed over which countries would sit on the international committee overseeing implementation of the deal and Resolution 1701. AP says analysts say Hezbollah has been weakened but continues to keep up steady fire into Israel, including strikes far from the border. On Sunday, Hezbollah fired about 250 rockets and other projectiles into Israel, in one of their biggest barrages in months. Violent clashes continue in southern Lebanon as Israeli forces attempt to take control of southern towns. Israel says its goal in the war with Hezbollah is to enable displaced Israelis, about 60,000 of them, to return home to northern Israel. Gunfire. Juniper Jones says it doesn't sound close to a ceasefire. Thank you to Dina Soul, our new member. Thanks, Dina. Also, Eric Rams, our member. Thank you. One second here. David W., I cannot show AP cameras. I can only show the cameras that I have the rights to by paying for them. David said AP has a Tyre Lebanon camera. Thank you, David, but I cannot show that. Thanks, Idaho Star. I got that fire in Surly Dev modding on Twitch. Ronald Egnor modding on Facebook, Linda Belk and Larry on X, Ruth Grafasi, Beth Mythical. Sorry, I don't know if Ruth is there. Roberts Mayqueen is there. Danny James was there. Thanks for moderating on YouTube. A plane is coming into land right now in Beirut. I'm guessing it's an MEA Lebanese airline plane. Sounds like there's a drone above. According to Flight Radar 24. Oh, is that? Flight Radar 24 says there's a, well, no. It says there's a Brazilian Air Force plane that's close. Is that it? I think that might be a Brazilian Air Force plane. I'm not kidding you. That's what Flight Radar 24 says. Look, Brazilian Air Force. It certainly looks like that's the right plane. Looks like it's landing right now on Flight Radar 24. I mean, maybe they send aid or whatever, you know. Castle Keeper says might be aid. Marnie says maybe they said munitions. That I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Israel does not want outside groups sending munitions into Lebanon, so. My guess is Israel knows what's coming in there. Maybe I'll show you one more time what happened a short while ago. In case you missed it, let me show you what happened shortly after we came on the air. That's still live, what you're looking at right now. Here, this was the scene. This was the scene right after we came on the air, about an hour or so ago, after Israel had issued 20 evacuation warnings. And then they struck 20 targets in 2 minutes. So you can see right there, look at the top of your screen, that was the first one we saw. And then we saw a bunch more. But Israel hit, they said 20 targets in 2 minutes. Look at that, look at all those columns of smoke going up right there. So pretty crazy, all of those strikes at once. Look at that, wow. 20 strikes in 2 minutes. Rian Van Ruyen is watching from South Africa. Yeah, guys, I'm aware of the air alert in Ukraine. We're not covering Ukraine right now. Unfortunately, that is something that happens with some degree of regularity there. It's certainly a serious story, but we're not covering that right now. Is that a grand finale, said Kimberly Joanne? I don't know if this is the last group of strikes before a ceasefire is announced. It's a good question. I do not know. You are watching replay of what happened when Israel struck 20 targets in 2 minutes. Let me go back to the live. I'm going to go back to the live shot now. That's the live shot right now. That is live. Roy Case says the Lebanese NBN channel reports that if everything goes well, the ceasefire will come into effect at 10 in the morning tomorrow. That's a report from Roy Case. Roy Case, Israeli reporter, says the Lebanese NBN channel, mouthpiece of the Shiite parliament speaker Nabia Berri, reports that if everything goes well, the ceasefire will come into effect tomorrow at 10 in the morning, after the start of the Lebanese government meeting at 9:30. Mark says there was an all clear given in Ukraine. Is that true? Somebody I follow, Mark, said that. Let's see here. Is that true? Let's see. That's unconfirmed. Adrienne says it's cleared. Well, Marks, who normally is reliable, said he saw it was cleared. I haven't personally seen it myself. Clear would mean that the warning in Ukraine is no longer active. Oh, thank you, HomeAwares. I appreciate that, HomeAwares. Also, Jesus UCSB. Thanks, Jesus, for your support. Still drones, one or more drones flying over. You might be hearing the same drone on different cameras. Ewan McDonald, who I follow with BBC Local Radio, says all clear in most of Ukraine now except Kharkiv and Donetsk Oblasts. Anyway, just to give you an update on that. All right, I have not had much of a chance to rest at all because we were on the air a few hours ago and then we came back on the air. So we're going to stay on a little while longer. But if there aren't any big developments in a little while, I might wrap up this stream because I got to get a little more rest. I don't know. I don't know if ultimately there'll be. I mean, it sounds like they're close to a ceasefire agreement. Will there actually be one? I will have to. We'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Why man thinks these are the last strikes before the ceasefire? I mean, there might not be a ceasefire tonight. Maybe there won't be. Maybe there'll be one, but in a day or two. No, I'm not going to be leaving the stream up when I get some more rest. Sorry. All right, I think it's time to get a little rest while I can. It's been a busy last few hours. So I'm going to try to do this quickly because I got to get some rest. We might do more streaming on this later once I sleep a bit. Okay, so keep an eye out for the channel. Subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV. If you missed the strikes, you can rewind. We were covering the airstrikes and talking about the ceasefire again, like we did on the previous stream. Thank you, Simon Buckingham, who says, "Is this Israel forcing the ceasefire not to go ahead?" No, I don't get the sense that this is Israel sabotaging the ceasefire. I believe in this part of the world with Israeli conflicts, you can get this military activity shortly before a ceasefire. In the past, when Israel has had rocket and airstrike exchanges with Gaza, I know we would cover ceasefires with those, and before the ceasefire, there'd be a lot of activity. So, I don't get the sense that this is Israel. I have seen nobody who knows anything say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe, well, this just means there's no chance of a ceasefire." I have not seen a single person who I would expect to know about these things say that. So I don't think that's what's happening here. But we still don't know if there's going to be one. We'll have to see. Supposedly, right around now, Israel is the Security Cabinet is supposedly meeting about it in Israel, according to a Times of Israel reporter. So we'll just have to see. All right, I'm going to try to get some rest while I can. Times of Israel says, Prime Minister Netanyahu set to convene ministers to okay Hezbollah truce. So subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV, turn on the notifications. We cover all kinds of live breaking news here. Turn on your notifications. The mods will post a link to the notifications in the chat, but that way you can get sent a notification whenever we go live. The notifications are free. Sign up to that. At the same link, we have a chat. You can sign up. You can check out the chat. You can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. It's on Discord, so check that out. But subscribe and follow the channel. And also, I'll post stuff when I'm not on the air, updates on my X account. Follow me on X, @Lookner on X. I will post a link to that in the chat. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in for our coverage. And also, thanks for writing me, sending me messages and news tips and commenting in the chat as well. And big shout out to our moderators. Really appreciate them being here. Beth Mythical over there on YouTube, Roberts May Queen, and our other YouTube mods. Thank you. Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on X. Ronald Egnor. Thanks so much, Ronald Egnor, for being over there on Facebook. And Idaho Star, Big Ball of Yarn, I Got That Fire, and Surly Dev on Twitch. Thank you. Big thanks. And thanks to everybody who donated, too. That's so nice of you guys. Darren Cluth, thanks, Darren. I missed you. And Valley as well. Thanks so much, Valley. Harper Ann and all of our other members and supporters and donators. That's really nice of you. You're the ones who keep the channel on the air, allow me to get footage and stuff, so thank you. If you ever Want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. Reminder, if you watch on YouTube, you might want to turn on the YouTube notifications, which can be helpful for getting notifications about our broadcasts. But to turn on the YouTube notifications on YouTube, here's what you got to do. You got to, after you subscribe, you need to click this bell and choose all notifications. Make sure you have the bell checked on YouTube and you've chosen all notifications. Thank you, Deb N, for your support. That's very nice of you, Deb N. Thanks for being a member. Thanks to our Discord mods as well. Big thanks to our subscribers over there on Twitch, like Free Dive Monkey, Wall Street and Shaggy and John Boyd 124, Big Ball of Yarn, Red Eye Shell, Tegrity Farmer Bob, Alyat Zion, X Kyle N, Drunk Can't Cook. Thank you for subscribing over there on Twitch. Our Facebook subscribers like Suzanne Priest Buchner, Marie Minicello, Ronald Egnor, Eve Richards, Diane Allworth, all of our other subscribers there. And our YouTube members, thank you so much. Marnie Chaz, Evie, J.K. Sinar, Danielle Klingenberg, PZ Wheats, Patricia Grace, Eric Johnson, Fred Flintstone, Cyan Brown, Toby Network, Marnie, Harper Ann, J.K. Sinar, that was Evie Shore, Jen Xer, Kurt W9BBW, Fred Flintstone, thanks for being a member, Adaptive Migration Solutions, Zonti Misfit, Trance, Unleashed Pokey Gamer, Robert Great, Stacy Bashford, Kim Hovick, Virgo Cat Lisi, Jesus UCSB, Blissful Essence, Ruby, Kathy B, Buffalo Women. Up. Real quick, there was a rocket alert. There might be some rocket alerts in the coming hours too. Something to keep an eye on. There are some rocket alerts. I don't have a camera there in central Israel. North central Israel. That's where they are right now. This is the so far red alert map. I will post a link to this red alert map that you can use to get the map if you want. They also have an app. So I will post a link to that map. I really appreciate them letting me show you their map, the so far map. So we may be seeing rocket fire too. I'm going to do one last check here, but I got to get some rest. Barak Ravid, Israeli reporter, says the Israeli Security Cabinet meeting to approve the Lebanon ceasefire has begun. An Israeli official said President Biden is expected to announce the ceasefire later today, and that the ceasefire is expected to take effect on Wednesday morning local time. I'm going to read that again. Barak Ravid says the Israeli Security Cabinet meeting to approve the Lebanon ceasefire deal has begun. An Israeli official said President Biden is expected to announce the ceasefire later today or tonight, and the ceasefire is expected to take effect on Wednesday morning local time. It is currently 4:30 p.m. there. All right, so there you have it. A Lebanese media outlet had said, news outlet had said earlier, as I told you, that a joint American-French statement would be issued shortly after 10 p.m. local time, which would be in about 5.5 hours. J.K. Sinar says, nice announcement just in time for Thanksgiving. Well, let's hope it happens. Let's hope it happens. All right, guys, I am wrapping up this stream. Maybe we'll have some more coverage later. I do really appreciate you joining the stream. I'm going to get some rest, and let's hope for a ceasefire, and let's see what happens later today. But the Israeli Security Cabinet is reportedly meeting to discuss this ceasefire deal right now. We'll see if it happens. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Sharon Klassen Goslin, Ann Hajnacki, Carlos Polanco, Diane DePrado, Blue Moon Bonsai. Thanks, Getty Sandwich, for subscribing. Appreciate all of our Gamering OP. Appreciate all of our viewers. Sandy Viegas, IDF Pilot, Irene, Dago from Brazil. Chaz thinks it makes sense to up the pressure during negotiations. Jennifer H, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, guys, that is it. Thanks, Lynn Downey, for being here as well. That is it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news updates right here at Agenda Free TV.